Hi there, that's us again, Anna and Julia from Brave Brush Studio. And today we're talking about painting green again
Yes.
as a preparation for our Christmas wreath workshop. As you can see, you need quite a lot of green to paint this wreath or really any other Christmassy themed greeting card,
Yeah.
regardless of what your object is. So in our previous video, we talked about ways of mixing a beautiful green color. And
Mhm.
today we will do one exercise that will get you ready for this workshop, or once again for any other Christmas sketch that you might want to do in the next couple of weeks. So, Julia, what exactly is it that we're doing today?
We will draw and paint a part of the Christmas wreath, and we will do it. We will do it with green colors, or no, we are going to do it, of course, with yellow and blue, with a combination, with the combinations we talked about in the previous video. So I think it's a very good exercise to prepare you for our workshop, and as Anna said, for any other Christmas greenery. Yeah, so we will draw not a particular part of the wreath, but just a few leaves, so we can practice.
Okay, let's get
Yeah.
started.
Okay, so we will draw with a pencil first, and then we will paint it. We will refine it with a fine liner, and then we will paint it with watercolor. And we will do just three leaves. And it's very important to understand that you need to have a kind of direction for every leaf, so it wouldn't be a kind of mess of leaves and all that they are all the way and without any direction. It would be not very interesting and beautiful. So when I draw a bunch of leaves, I first start with example of one leaf, and I draw a line for it in a direction I want to have the leaf. And then I start to draw the leaves to the elements of the leaf, like this. And maybe it's a kind of abstract leaf, not really existing, but we just try to create an interesting illustration so we can make up the shape of the leaf. And then I draw another line, and here we also add some elements. Let's do another one here and do it like this. So we have two leaves. Let's draw another one, and as you can see, they all have a kind of slight curve, and here we can also add some elements, so our leaf will be interesting, beautiful, and with a kind of curve. So three of them look quite interesting, right? They are not very straight, you can see a curve, and you can see that yeah, that the shape of the leaves is great. I like it myself. Okay, so the next step is refining it with a fine liner, or at least drawing with a fine liner. And this is a very easy part of sketching, so we just follow the lines we have already drawn. And
What size are you using? Is it a thin or
it's
thicker? 0.4.
0.4 millimeter, and it's an unusual size, I think, from Faber-Castell. They have a lot of different sizes. Usually, you have size like 0.3 millimeter or 0.5, so you can use them too. If you don't have 0.4.
So it's basically somewhere in the middle, not too thin, not too thick.
No, it depends on the format you draw on, because the smaller the format, the smaller the tip, of course.
Okay, sure, this makes sense.
Yeah. So like this, and now we can use the eraser to get rid of the pencil lines. And I use my kneaded eraser because kneaded eraser is much softer than the regular one, and it doesn't damage my watercolor paper. And I paint on cotton paper, so it will make my painting much better, much more interesting, much the gradient will be much softer, but it dries quite long. So, but that's okay. I will show you that you just need to wait a little bit between the layers. We will apply a few layers, and we will start with the first one now. And here's, it's important to understand that if you want to create a beautiful bunch of leaves, then you have to play a little bit with colors. So this is why we just don't use just one color. We use different colors. We will mix yellow with blue, and on this side, from this side to this side, we will use lighter color on this side and darker color on this side. So it will gradually, slightly change from the lighter color to the darker one by mixing colors. Okay, so, and I will use my favorite azo, nickel azo yellow color, and ultramarine blue. And I start with the yellow. It's a kind of golden yellow color, very beautiful one. And I mix it on my palette with just a little bit of ultramarine, and I start painting on one side, the lighter side, of course. With my largest brush, by the way, with not the largest I have, but the largest I will use for this workshop. Now I add a little bit more blue and a little bit even more blue, a little bit more blue. So for the gradient, for the interest that we will have, want to have in our painting, in our sketch. And just add a little bit more blue every time. And even more blue, and as you can see, it already starts to look quite engaging, quite interesting. Not just like one boring bunch of something. And here I want to spread it a little bit more. And this way, as you can see, it looks really, really great. Much better than you use just one color, green color. It will be not that beautiful, I think. Kind of boring. Here we have a lot of different shades in one painting. Okay, so now I have already said it. I use cotton paper, so it needs some time. It needs some time to dry, and we want to to do it very quickly now. To do this short exercise very quickly. So I have already painted something exactly the same thing. So this is 10 minutes later, I would say. And now we can add some more interest, even more interest to our leaves, and we do it like this. We take a smaller brush, and this is a stiffer one, so it will be easier for me to control my paint. And I also want to have for the shadows will be on this side, so here, here, and here. And for the shadows I use a darker shade of green, so I add even more blue color to my mixture. Shouldn't be too dark, but just dark enough. Let's try it here. I think it's dark enough. And I just add shadows everywhere, like in every single part of the leaf. And here is the darker color. We can add even darker shadow. And you can see that the volume is more obvious and more yeah, it just makes our leaves more interesting. You can of course spread the color and make the shadow less sharp, but I like it like this for these leaves. So there are different options, but I like it to do it like this for this bunch of leaves. I think it already looks quite good, right? Quite interesting. What do you think, Anna? Oh, your mic is muted.
Okay, I can see that. Yes, I think it does. I think it looks great. So while your shadows are drying, can I jump in with
Of
something
course.
real quick before we move on to the next stage?
Yes.
I just want to share what we've got inside Brave Brushes Studio, the other classes that we have on Christmas. We've got a whole Christmas adventure, which is a series of video lessons. And oh my God, they are just amazing.
Yes,
Julia, I
yes, yes, yes.
simply love them. So, this first one, this Christmas ball, layering with gouache, is also, it looks so good on greetings cards, doesn't it? Then we've
Yes.
got another style, a very different technique, painting with just one color. So controlling
A
the
very important exercise, actually.
exactly. Yes, I think it's uh, well important and also a lot of fun to do. All the things you can do with just one color. Then there's another little wreath, or rather a bunch of well, mistletoe.
Mistletoe. Yeah.
And this last one, uh, getting the shape right, the shape of this red lantern. We don't paint the lantern, that's, well, the easy part, but we take you step by step through the entire process of, uh, well, drawing
Yeah,
this
getting the shape right.
lantern, and getting the shape right. And then, of course, there is something else that we have. Yes, we've got 4 other workshops from last year, and they are 4 greeting cards workshops. I should probably show them too. Are your shadows dry, Julia, or not yet? Do I have a second?
You have
Uh,
a second, definitely.
okay, then. So here we go. There were 4 workshops. They can be done both, well, either with watercolors or gouache. Is that right, Julia? Do you remember?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so the medium is not important or not so much, but there's a Christmas tree, another wreath, a Christmas ball with this lovely little red cabin. And also, my personal favorite is this the one at the bottom here, the red cabin
Yeah.
postcard.
Yeah. The only thing that you need except a watercolor is white gouache for
Okay,
snow,
yeah. So
of
white,
course.
it is difficult to do these workshops without white gouache, but we've mentioned it so many times.
Yeah.
Even if you're a watercolor fan, there's one tube of gouache that you should have is permanent white gouache. Okay,
Yes.
Julia, how are those leaves doing?
Uh, I think they are great. And now the next step, we can do it with watercolor, but I prefer to do it with colored pencil. And I have here a very dark green one. And why I use colored pencils for shadows, because we will add a drop shadow to our leaves, so it will make them look even more interesting. Everything for the interest, and we will add some textures too. Um, and why use it? Because it creates even better textures, even it different from watercolor. With watercolor, we also can create some textures. With ultramarine blue, we add textures because ultramarine blue is a great granulating color. But with colored pencils, we can add even more textures, and they are so beautiful. And it looks a little bit sketchy, so also a good way to draw. So I add some shadows, some drop shadows to the same as I did before. Here we have a lighter color, here we have shadows. So this way we create even more interest. Just a little bit here, make some of the leaf parts even darker. So we only have here the top shadows actually, because we have no other objects here on the background. And we also can add some textures like this, just a few dots. But these dots create, or very short lines maybe here and there, they create a kind of texture, a kind of interesting something. I don't know. I can't even explain what it is, but it makes sketches, makes drawings much more engaging, I think. And the last thing, the last step I want to do is adding some shyness to the leaves, and I do it with white pen, and I need to activate it a little bit to push. Like this. So, and if I press less hard, I have smaller point, and when I press harder, I have a thicker point, of course, dot. And here we do the same, and they are especially better for the darker parts. Of course, you can see them better. So like this here and there, and we have this shyness and festive look. I think. So that's all. I think they look really cool.
Can you put this side by side with the other sheet of paper where you just painted the leaves but did not
You mean
add
this
anything?
one?
Yes, yes. So just to see the difference.
Yeah.
I
There is
mean,
some
we
difference, right?
thought they already looked beautiful,
Yeah.
but then, yes, it's totally amazing the difference
Thank you.
these pencils and shadows make.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, everyone, we look forward to seeing you at our Christmas wreath with watercolors and colored pencils workshop. As you can see in the picture, there's lots more to it than just knowing how to paint the leaves.
Yeah, the
There are a
ribbons.
few tricky parts too. And so you can use this link to sign up for the workshop, but also please keep it in mind that all of this workshop and all of our past workshops, not just Christmas workshops, are available in Brave Brushes Studio, and you get immediate access to everything as soon as you join. You get access to our entire archive of classes, workshops, courses, all sorts of things,
Tutorials.
and much more. Okay, so we'll leave you with this thought, and we look forward to seeing you very soon at our workshop. Bye.
Bye bye.